Bladepool with Bladepool, and we are here with martial arts extraordinaire, whip cracker master, Anthony Delongis. Thank you, Anthony, for coming and visiting us.
My pleasure.
All right, so I got a couple of questions for you, if you don't mind. How do you prepare yourself mentally for these stunts that you do?
Well, basically, I've practiced a lot. I've been studying bladed weapons for some 44 years.
Wow.
I do European weapons, I do Filipino weapons, I do Japanese weapons, and the more I train, the more I appreciate the fundamentals and concepts that connect the arts. That being said, you know, if you're going to say you can do something, you had better be able to do it and deliver extraordinary execution under horrible conditions. Because when you work in show business, it's always difficult, it's always chaos, and you really don't get any rehearsal. So your rehearsal happens beforehand. And then it's a relaxation, mental preparation, a commitment to what you're going to do, and you relax and do it.
Awesome. That's awesome. And now, are there any particular exercises that you do to help you perform, you know, like throw better? Or?
Well, I do a lot of cross training. You know, there's my work with the whip, which is based on my work with the sword. Every bladed weapon has 8 angles of attack. I use the same principle with my whip, which is why I don't do it like everybody.
Yeah, that's what we do too. The eight angles. Yeah.
And that is in every system. They may not present it to you that way, but it's there.
Right.
There's 8 angles of attack with footwork plus a circle. That's all there is. You know, you can get lost in the minutia of very fancy things, but you are essentially working some element of this for a specific reason, because each weapon has its own nature, and each weapon has its strengths and its vulnerabilities. But what makes them combatively viable is pretty much universal. Okay, so you have weapon-specific adjustments that maximize the application of that particular tool or that reference a particular culture. But what makes them work are those 8 angles of attack, you know, and how you most efficiently apply that tool.
Very good. All right. So, what advice would you give to a beginning, you know, whip cracker or anybody performer that, you know, getting into not really getting into the industry, but what kind of advice would you give them to get them prepared for something like this?
Well, yeah, it's funny you brought that up, because having to dodge and hitting me with the other hand, sometimes that, you know, I don't get as much opportunity to fully explore something. So I find both trainings are very, very useful. Did I answer your question?
No, you didn't. Okay, but what advice would...
There we go.
See?
Essentially it is, my advice is listen to your partner. Because every weapon, it's an inanimate object until you pick it up. And then it's an extension of your will and your skill. It will tell you how to use it efficiently. If you are laboring and fighting he's not an ally anymore, now he's a slave. You're trying to bend him to your will, and that never works well. Slaves always revolt. The two of you together can accomplish more than either one of you alone. But it's never about the weapon. It's about the weapon becoming a part of you and an extension of you.
So if you're having a bad day, you're going to have bad control of your weapon.
And it's perfectly happy to give you an attitude adjustment.
Okay.
You know, if you hit yourself with the whip, you told it to hit you. If you hit yourself with your weapon, it's because you're careless and you told it to. It's not going to do it all by itself.
Well, the voices in my head tell me what to do. Okay, so after so many films, shows, and accomplishments, how would you best like to be remembered?
Well, I like to think that my best work is still ahead of me, but I did have some great highlights. I did a MacGyver years ago, where I was PA to the assassin. I was essentially a ninja.
Cool.
You know, master of disguise, etc. You know, Kirari needles, fake scars. That was fun. And I did a couple of Highlanders. I guess started up Highlander twice, and one was an episode they wrote for me based on my story, and I introduced the fighting with rapier and dagger in the circle, which is uniquely Spanish, and I was the first one to put it on film. And you're always at sword's point, and it utilizes the angulation, you know, so very common in Filipino. So that was a lot of fun. And they flew me to Shanghai to partner Jet Li for Fearless.
Yeah, I saw that one.
So,
that was cool.
I really enjoyed that. I had the opening sword fight with him. And then on Star Trek Voyager, I was Maj Kala. I was the king of the Kazons for 5 minutes.
So, I mean, so all that, I mean, how would you like to be remembered? I mean, you just, man of all...
As a work in progress.
Work in progress. Work in progress. But, like, for example, if I had to reintroduce you again, let's say, what would you like me to say about you? That would be, you know, as a legacy.
Okay. I'm always training. I'm always trying to get better.
Perfect.
Because if I'm not getting better, I'm just getting older. And there's only one of those things I can do anything about.
So you never, even if you're a master, you never stop training.
Yeah.
Makes it exactly. That's it. Stop being lazy and sorry.
The funny thing is, mastery, the road to mastery, you know, I'm not the first one to say this, but lies in simplicity. You know,
Yeah,
it's nice to be fancy, but you're going to find that what's really effective is what's the essence, what's the essential, what's the simplicity of something.
Yeah, I
It starts
agree.
there.
I agree. Well, thank you very much, Anthony. Thanks
My
for
pleasure.
visiting us here at Bladepool.
My pleasure.
And remember, kids, never quit practicing. Never stop practicing. Keep training. Right. Thank you.
Hi guys, Anthony Delongis here. If you want to see me in action, come to www.delongis.com. That's DELONGIS.com. I'm a sword master, I'm a whip master, I'm a weapons expert, and I'm a horseman. I do all my weapons on horseback. It's a lot of fun. People come from all over the country and all over the world to train with us at Rancho Indalo, just north of Los Angeles, and the Ranch League is on there too. Come see us.